everybody, and welcome back to Classic Gamer 74. I am your host, Anthony Gamer, and in today's episode, we're going to discuss the Wisdom Tree games for the NES. Okay, so before we start, here's a little background information on Wisdom Tree themselves, and this is coming directly from Wikipedia. Wisdom Tree Incorporated is an American developer of Christian video games. It was an offshoot of Color Dreams, one of the first companies to work around Nintendo's 10 NES lockout chip technology for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Color Dreams formed the Wisdom Tree subsidiary in 1990 in an effort to circumvent Nintendo's restrictions against publishers of unlicensed video games for the NES by selling their games at Christian bookstores, which was not subject to pressure by Nintendo. As many of you know, Nintendo was very selective in a lot of ways of who and what games they would publish officially for the NES. And many of you probably remember that a lot of that licensed Nintendo games were usually in the gray carts, and they had that little seal on the cartridges. But they decided that they wanted to get their games out with these biblical themes, and they were selling them at Christian bookshops because other companies were afraid of Nintendo going after them for selling these games. Of course, Nintendo was smart enough and didn't threaten any legal action because they feared that there would be a public relations backlash from parents and Christian community, and they were right. Now we're going to take a look at these games, and I'm looking at them as a Christian and as a believer, and when you do that, you see these games a lot differently. So without further ado, let's get into those Wisdom Tree games. Alright, and let's start with Bible Adventures. This is probably the most well-known games of all of them, and there are actually 3 games in one. Now, your first game here is Noah's Ark, where you are taking the role of Noah and you are trying to put the animals in the ark. Now, what you see in the top left-hand screen is kind of your energy, I guess you could say. Now, how to rebuild that energy in case you get hurt, because sometimes you do. The animals sometimes aren't exactly willing to get into the ark, and they can fight you, and the monkeys will throw stuff at you, and then there's bad snakes, even though you do have to collect some snakes. When your energy gets depleted a little bit, you just pick up those scrolls, which function as the Word of God. And it will give you some Bible verses to give you energy. Now, this game can be quite challenging because some of these animals do not want to get into the ark. But with a little bit of practice and, just some persuasion, you can get them in. Now, it's really funny how strong Noah is, how he just picks these up. Now, if you read the Bible, you know that Noah was a pretty old guy, but it adds a little bit of fun here to the game by just picking them up. You can see that this game took a lot of inspiration from Super Mario Bros. 2, when you would just pick up some of the mushrooms and stuff and throw them at the creatures. Now, Noah got one of them in there, so you see the animation of them going into the ark, and you can see the different animals that Noah has to collect. Now, this is just the first mission, as I believe there's 3 where Noah has to pick up animals and food and all kinds of stuff, and you get a pretty cool end sequence. Definitely, this is my favorite of the 3 games that are included in this collection. And the next game in the collection is Baby Moses. Now, in this game, what you're trying to do is you are one of the, Egyptian nursemaids, and you are trying to save Baby Moses. And a lot of things are trying to stop you. You have those spiders and the Egyptian guards, but you're lucky that you have these springs that can kind of help shoot you up. And again, like I said, you have to save Baby Moses no matter what. Now, you can lose energy, but they give you hints on the way on how those Bible verses give you hints, and they also give you strength. So again, your object is just to get Baby Moses to the end of each level. Now, I don't know how many levels there are, as I basically just got past the first one. Now, you can sometimes throw Baby Moses to save him, and you can see there, yeah, you're having a little bit of trouble there. But again, that's your objective, is you are basically trying to save Baby Moses. So yeah, you see I just got the first level, and yeah, it gets a little more challenging as time goes on. And of course, you got obstacles trying to stop you, which makes perfect sense. So it shows you there how to do stuff. But again, that is your objective. And it makes sense that there would be the forces of evil trying to stop baby Moses because, again, he was going to lead the Israelites to freedom. So, and the third and final game is David and Goliath. Now, in this one, again, you get to pick up some hints that will help you to to save the get the sheep. Now you got these bad squirrels that are throwing stuff nuts at you and help make you lose energy, but you can throw those nuts right back at them. So in this one, you are David and you are trying to save all your sheep and get them into the corral. Okay, now look out for those lions, which again, if you've read the story of David and are familiar with it, a lion was a creature that was trying to that David, was able to conquer and save his sheep. So it makes perfect sense. And in later levels, you are battling. You're still trying to save the sheep because don't forget, David did start off as a shepherd boy. And again, you pick up Bible verses. A lot of times they come from Kings or they are Psalms that David himself wrote. Yeah, the ram is not one of the creatures you have to get. I picked it up anyway, and I'm like, all right, this got to be one of them. And actually, no, it's not a sheep. It's actually trying to stop you. So, but you got to climb around to the different levels here, pick up the sheep, look out for those rams, look out for the lions, and those crazy squirrels that are trying to stop you. So, kind of a gathering game. In this one anyway, and as you go further into the game, you have other tribulations and trials that as David you have to face. Really, it's a great game. I really enjoyed it. I haven't quite beaten this one. I beat the other two, so I don't really know what goes on in the higher up levels, but like I said, it's a really fun game. All three of them I really enjoyed playing. Like I say, take them for what they are. Yeah, not wholly original, and they are kind of based on other games, as some of the other Wisdom Tree games themselves are. But really, it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy these the Bible adventure games, and I think I understand why some parents parents that are believers would really want their children to try these games as opposed to some of the other NES titles, and this game would actually be remade on the Sega Genesis for the 16-bit era. Mostly it's kind of the same thing, but the graphics and the other things have been enhanced. So give them a try sometime if you get a chance, and I will review those games when I get to those systems. Alright, and next up we have Bible Buffet. This came out in 1993. It's an action quiz board game. The description is Bible Buffet combines the best features of a board game with the fast action of a video arcade. Spin the spinner to see where you'll land. You'll visit exciting places like Pizza Land, Bread Land, and Fruit Land. Win the game by gathering the most food for the food bank, finishing the map first, or answering the most Bible questions correctly. Pop quizzes test your knowledge of Bible stories and characters. Every trip through Bible Buffet is a unique new adventure, giving the whole family hours of food frolicking fun. Now, this game is quite challenging, especially when you get to the Bible questions. You do need to download the book for this one, and you better have some good Bible knowledge because some of these questions are pretty tough. But the game itself is a lot of fun, and I got a feeling that me and Larry are going to be playing this on an Anthony and Larry Play sometime. Really a lot of fun for the whole family, just like it says, and I had a lot of fun playing it, so I think you will too. Alright, and next up we have Exodus, Journey to the Promised Land. In this one, the player controls Moses as he leads the Israelites to the Promised Land, meaning he goes through a labyrinth. Moses has the ability to shoot glowing W's, which signify the Word of God, to defeat enemies and remove obstacles. To finish each level, Moses must acquire 5 question marks, as well as certain amounts of mana, while avoiding enemies such as magicians and soldiers. After levels completed, the The player must answer 5 multiple choice Bible related questions before advancing to the next level. After answering enough questions correctly, the player is rewarded with extra life. Okay, so this one is kind of a modified version of the game Crystal Mines. So if it does kind of look familiar, it probably should. And this game is quite challenging, but a lot of fun. I really had a lot of fun playing this game. So definitely one that operates on a higher level because, again, not only do you have to play the game, you have to answer the Bible-related questions correctly. So really a lot of fun playing it. I liked Crystal Mines, and if you did, you're going to enjoy this one as well. All right, and next up we have Joshua in the Battle of Jericho, and this was released in 1992. If it kind of looks familiar, it should, as it's actually the spiritual sequel to the previous game. In this one, you play Joshua, the leader of God's people after Moses. You must lead God's people into the promised land, but there are many puzzles and obstacles that stand in your way, falling rocks, bad soldiers, and other things. Using your horn and other special weapons to defeat enemies, you will face ancient biblical baddies. So this game is really a lot more challenging than the previous. This one, you got to dig up all that dirt you see because there's a lot of hidden stuff in there, and I really enjoyed this one. If you really liked Moses, you're going to love this game. I know I did. Alright, and next up we have the King of Kings. In this game that came out in 1991, there are also 3 adventure games in this one. The first one here is the 3 wise men, as you are trying to get them to where they need to be as they are following that star. There are Bible questions that you have to answer on the way, and you get rewarded for it. This one is a lot of fun, and this is the easiest of the 3 games on here. So, nice, fun platforming game. Not too difficult, and it's not really hard to find, where you need to go and stuff. So, I really enjoyed this one. Like I said, this is the easiest of the 3. Alright, the next game is Flight to Egypt. In this one, you are taking on the role of Joseph, and you are trying to get Mary and Jesus to Egypt, as Herod has declared that all baby boys under the age of 2 are to be killed, and in order to save Jesus and fulfill prophecy and allow him to grow up and live, you got to get out of Israel. So there are lots of things trying to stop Joseph on the way. You pick up the Bible scrolls again. This one's a little tougher, but once you kind of get the hang of the controls, it's not that bad, really. I enjoyed this one as well, but like I said, a little bit tougher than the first one, but yet still playable and a lot of fun. And the final game on this cart is Jesus and the Temple. Now, if you're familiar with the Bible story, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph had gone to the Passover festival in Jerusalem, and they kind of lost Jesus. And so now they have to find him. You have a limited amount of time to do so. This one is tough, and I will agree with Angry Video Game Nerd on the fact that, yeah, this is one of the toughest platforming games, and it's the toughest game on here. I really think, yeah, they should have done a little bit better job as, I don't want to say a better job, but it's just sometimes the platforms are a little uneven and unpredictable, and yeah, this one is definitely a challenge. I wasn't able to get too far in this one. If any of you were able to beat this one, let me know in the comments section below, because I did the best I could, and I just could not get very far in this one. And next up, we have Spiritual Warfare. This came out in 1992. In this one, you're a soldier in the army of the Lord. Explore the inner regions of a modern city as you endeavor to collect the full armor of God. Along the way, you'll encounter villainous characters and numerous obstacles designed to test your faith. Correctly answering Bible questions will help restore your health and strengthen your spirit. Featuring 12 diverse territories, over 300 detailed screens, background gospel music, full screen status bar with map and score. Yeah, this game is fun and challenging, and yeah, it's got a little bit of a Zelda feel to it, but I really enjoyed this. I found myself I kept playing. I just was enjoying it so much, exploring and stuff that I really had a lot of fun with this. And those of you that enjoyed Zelda and games like that, I think you'll really enjoy this one. It's got a lot of challenge, but it's got a lot of replayability. And like I said, I just when I was recording footage for this, I just kept playing and I realized, oh, hours have gone by. So, like I said, really enjoyed it. If you did, let me know in the comments section below. Okay, and now we're looking at the final game today, and that is Sunday Fun Day. Now, in this game, you have 3 games in one. The first is Sunday Fun Day. And in this game, you are trying to get to Sunday school. Now, half of the class is missing, and the teacher tells you to get on your skateboard and get there. Now, this one is interesting to say the least, because this is probably the most divisive of the Wisdom Tree games. Because people are saying, oh, the controls are bunk and blah blah and all this other stuff and all this. Actually, once you kind of get the hang of it, it's not really that bad. Now, your best weapon is, you see that somebody's throwing stuff out the window. Now, what do you think those things are? Well, actually, they're the Word of God. And the best way that's the best weapon you have. That, or you can kind of throw those fruits as well, but that's the best weapon you have against the bullies that are trying to stop you from getting there, as opposed to that weird attack thing you do with the spin. Now, people may ask, why? I've heard people that have played this ask, why are there so many obstacles? Why are these people trying to stop you from going to Sunday school? Well, if you think about it, being a believer as a teenager is probably one of the hardest things. When you probably first got confirmed or you first started going to church, you probably really enjoyed going. And as you got older, you kind of sometimes lose that faith sometimes. And the temptations to go to church and to do what you need to do are the hardest, I think, when you're a teenager. Time period that's full of a lot of trials and tribulations in your life. And yeah, it makes sense, though, that a lot of things, there'd be a lot of temptations and the forces of evil would try to stop you from going to church. It makes perfect sense. But keeping faith and doing what you need to do and keeping your eyes on Jesus will help you get to the place that you need to be spiritually. Yeah, and these levels do get kind of challenging, especially this one when you're underground. Oh boy, this is a tough one. But, like I said, once you kind of get the hang of it, it's really not that bad. So, I think this is a game that people need to give a second chance to. And I think if you do, I think you'll really enjoy it as much as I did. Yeah, it is challenging, and it takes a while to get used to the controls. But overall, like I said, it's a pretty fun game. And it is a reskin of an earlier Color Dreams game called Menace Beach. But, like I said, I really did enjoy it. And I think if you give it a second chance and look at it differently, you may too. Alright, and the second game here is Fishfall. Now, I found myself really enjoying this one because I love puzzle games. I mean, I do. I love Tetris. I like Yoshi's Cookie. And once I get started playing puzzle games, I really just can't stop. I mean, I still play Tetris all the time, and I'm awesome at it. But anyway, so this one is not exactly Tetris. Of course, it's not. But this one, you are trying to catch fish. I guess you can kind of assume that you are St. Peter or one of the other apostles, and you are catching these fish, and you're trying to throw them in the basket. And you have a quota of how many fish you are supposed to catch each round. And you got things trying to stop you, like birds and stuff. And the puzzles get more difficult as you go along. Like I said, I really just found myself addicted to this game. I just had so much fun playing it. And again, time really got away from me with this one. So, you like puzzle games? You're going to love this one. And the last game on here isn't really a game, it's actually kind of a sing-along, as there are songs on here by the band For Him. They were a contemporary Christian band in the 90s. I really wasn't a big fan of theirs per se, but I like the message of the songs. And if you're familiar with the band, you will probably enjoy singing along with it. So, well, that brings this episode of Classic Gamer 74 to a close. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope it has helped you to look at the Wisdom Tree games a little bit differently and maybe appreciate them a little bit more. I'm going to be reviewing the other games as they would re-release them for the Sega Genesis, and of course they did have one game for the Super Nintendo. But anyway, if you did enjoy today's episode, let me know by giving me a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to click that little icon down there, that little bell, so you will be notified when I upload any new videos. Check out my latest book that I just released on Amazon. I really think you guys are going to enjoy it. It's about the 12 apostles and how you can relate to them in modern times. I really think you guys will enjoy it. It's available in ebook, paperback, and audiobook. I'm going to put the picture right up there, and I'll put a link in the description below. Connect with me on all my social media platforms, and check out my Patreon, where you will find some videos you're not going to find anywhere else. Well, until next time, this has been Anthony Gamer. I wish you all a good week. So until next time, be strong, be safe, be happy, be healthy, and above all, take care of each other, be kind to each other, and stop hate of all kinds. God bless, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.